All right, here, Daniel.
And we're about to get this match underway. Dejan Arce is the man who's going to put boots to ball and sends it downfield. And Salford have first touch of the ball in this tight ground. It's a ground that always offers great atmosphere, and that'll be the same here tonight.
Go on, good time.
I think the
Salford with early possession.
Sorry, Dave. I think the start's important for both teams. Salford, if they can manage to stay in and stick with the home side in these first 15 or so minutes and not get blown away, that'll do their confidence some good. But for Cas Tigers, they will look to start fast, start strong, and again take some of those points on the board and just knock Salford.
Wait what we get.
Well, in at dummy half is Kai Morgan, and this will be a carry. Sangare, the ball is kicked downfield.
40-20.
Is it 40-20 in these early stages? It rolls out of play. What a start for Salford.
40-20.
It is a 40-20. Sneed's left foot managing to find a way, and Salford with the early advantage.
He's great, isn't he? And he knows exactly what his side needs. It's territory, it's field position, and it's the ball in hand. Great kick from the captain and leader.
So Jackie Chan with the carry. And of course from Wigan. Morgan out of dummy half, running across the face of that defence, and Ormond will bring it on. Real challenge this in the early stages for that Castleford defence. Right on their own line. Sneed again. Riley's involved, double pump from him, but can't open up the gap for Watkins. Castleford right on their own goal line. Morgan spinning it back inside for Sneed. They're crying for a forward pass.
Close, isn't it?
And it's been picked up by Castleford, a chance to break as well. Well, the mistake there, and Cass have it back. And now Salford have it back, my goodness. Hankinson.
Well, Hankinson stripped the ball once Fletcher Rooney had made the break. Good awareness from Hankinson. They'll get another goal, won't they, the Red Devils? You felt like they'd wasted an opportunity. Look at the wheels on this kid. Son of Jamie Rooney, of course.
Oh, and then Ormond drops it. Difficult pass. Right in his face was George Griffin, forcing the error. And after that harem scare of a couple of minutes, Castleford get the head and feet of the scrum.
George Griffin puts a good bit of contact, and he's took the wind out of the big fella. Jack Ormond, who's still down on his haunches.
We all right, guys?
I think he hit right under the ball, winded the big front goer.
Takes some recovery.
Okay, Jack, let's go then.
He's okay.
Play down, we're all here, let's go.
Good shot, good target. And he hits him right in the ribs, doesn't he?
Ball in, let's go.
You don't see many tackles like that from the big fellas in the middle.
Well, it is... it has been an opening spell, which I don't think will have settled nerves, might just have increased nerves with the way it's gone so far. But Castleford now looking to settle on a spell of possession. Reminder, if you're joining us late, the importance of this game in the context of the season. Both sides looking for their first win of the year. What a morale-boosting moment that would be for one or the other here. It's taken out.
Off the ball, Callum!
Rob out of dummy half and moved left again. Cass find themselves for the first time tonight inside their opponent's half. It's Rob who settles one more time. Inside track Saw, but Salford's defence is good enough, and resisting too much of a go forward here. Cass are on the last, so they're going to have to kick here off the boot of Tex Hoy, who sticks it high. This is a challenge, but safely taken. Salford have a chance here now. Hankinson to bring it back.
A confident take in the backfield from Salford. It wasn't too complicated. There was a couple of bodies around, a bit of traffic around Hankinson, but Salford secure possession and make the way upfield.
What's your early reading of this in terms of... We know what Castleford are going to bring to this game. We weren't sure what Salford were going to bring to this game because of all the ups and downs they've had, but what's your early reading of this Salford side?
To gauge, there's probably an element of let's just throw it around, we've got nothing to lose.
There's MacDonald just with a threatening run.
Well done, George, great work.
Swung back to the middle to Watkins.
Definitely using the ball, Dave, choosing to spread it wide and attack him on the edges.
Masters showing off a couple of defenders and still going, and eventually sought out and dealt with by Okoro. Salford reached the last. Sneed. Here's a test. Rooney underneath it. Up he goes and down he comes. It's almost like he's trying to stay up there and encourage Cross to tackle him in mid-air, but he does get feet planted back on terra firma.
Salford have returned serve, a very similar kick, choosing to just bank the field position, ramp up in defence, muscle up and try and restrict those metres. A bit of confusion in the backfield from the Tigers.
Boy, taking it out from dummy half. Just heavy labour at the moment through the middle.
Callum, you're off.
Rob, as I mentioned earlier, playing his first game of the season. I see threatening. And they're on the last here.
Dan, you've turned. Dan.
The boot is high from Horn. Riley underneath it, but well met. Good chase from Castleford. He didn't have far to go.
High kick, wasn't it? His second occasion that Tex Hoyer's got the kick in. They've been predominantly working through the standoff, the number 6. DJ Isaac.
Cross.
King Robbo now!
Kai Morgan. And Hill. New to the club, of course, this season, Chris Hill. And must have wondered at times what he's landed in.
A lot of experience in that share there. He actually played with Paul Rowley at the beginning of his career and at the end of Paul's.
Back in Lee. And here is Sneed. And Rooney underneath it. Rooney looking for support and trying to dummy his way forward again, but runs into a wall of red jerseys.
The point I was making about the kickers, that's another great kick from Salford, but with Castleford mixing up who's there on the last tackle, we saw a great surging run from the standoff DJ Aside, and if he's choosing to run, Salford aren't sure who's going to kick, they can't put pressure. I thought he was exceptional last week. Leeds really turned the tide, and that late surge they had at the back end where they scored all them points, Alex Mellett set the tone.
This is Hoy, who's wrapped up and dealt with just inside that Salford half. 7 nervous minutes played so far. One to go, Rob. Really caught the eyelash here, didn't he, Kane Rob, with his bravery. And that is a tester as well. Riley's done well to hang on to that in the face of some big defensive rushes.
It's settled down a little bit now, hasn't it, Dave? Both teams getting to that kick. The first couple of sets, it looked like they were playing touch and pass. But focusing on territory, focusing on the kicking game, applying pressure through defence, going through the fundamentals both sides now.
Well, they're searching wide again here. And the ball is kept alive, and Morgan's got a chance to advance a little further.
Watch out for his offloads. Nene McDonald, he's one of the best in the business. Tim Laffey, Nene McDonald. Tim Laffey not playing, of course. You've got to get your tackle technique right on both of those players, but Nene McDonald tonight.
Sangarai takes it in. 5 away from the halfway line, but they've reached the final play again in this set, and Sneed behind the 40. It always puts a flutter in the hearts of the opposition because of the range finding he has. So a little bit of a juggle from Rooney, but he's recovered his poise and kept possession. And Castleford start from there.
Oh, the spin, the twist, the twerk on the ball. He still manages to get hold of it, Fletcher Rooney. They've got to take some time away from Mark Sneed, Castleford Tiger. If he's allowed to put it where he wants, it will make it really difficult in the backfield.
Cinny plays, Rob picks up, looks back for the inside again, and his senior comes in for the wing to have a go to help things out down the middle. Castleford going through their tackles here, but advancing nicely just at the moment. It'll go no further. Still a play to go. Oh, and Salford's defence is up quickly.
Ormonroyd, I think it is, up quick.
So this is the last.
George!
He sticks it up in the air. Again, the chase is good from Castleford. Salford are getting the high kicks, putting the catchers under pressure here.
That from Ormonroyd, got up, opposite number, took time away. It meant that Salford had to kick from a little bit deeper. Sorry, Castleford had to kick from a little bit deeper. Everyone had to get back behind the ball.
just a sign there. They went the way they went laterally, Salford, with that passing movement. We saw that so often last year where they attacked from deep. Just a sign that they were recovering a little bit of their mojo. This is
Hankinson on the floor.
yeah, the referee's not convinced that there's any further studying of that, urging him to get up and play it.
We've got an early change with Salford, haven't we?
Sangare's gone off, hasn't he?
First carry, first touch. Another wicked kick.
It's another one of those that Sneed hits perfectly well, and Senior goes back and catches safely, but my goodness, there's some whip and twirl on that ball.
It's not just about height, he can judge distance, he can obviously 40-20 in the first set of possession. Mark Sneed.
The pick up and go here from Rooney. Dummy half. Taken well by Okoro. Castleford travelling well. Slowed down a little in the ruck, so Salford's defence can get itself ready here. And Cass moving left quickly. And Senior, who's certainly going to finish on him, but Salford's defence across there smartly to make sure he's not going further. Atkin with a tackle. Again on the last. The kick across the face of those defenders. Senior was challenging from it. And it's going to be a tap back on the 20 as the ball bounces out of play.
I think he was first to get to that ball, Senior. Chased hard. Another player showed up pretty well last week. 127 metres he ran for, scored a try.
George,
Sneed. Chan. Tony Morgan. Here's Hopkins. Hunting to the ground. Has he lost it? Yes, he has. So a celebration amongst the Castleford ranks, because they will get the ball back in reasonable position on the halfway line.
You don't see that too often. The ever reliable Callum Watkins wears the skipper's armband. The only player to get over the white stripe in the Super League this year. Scored one try so far, Salford. Heavy defeat at St Helens in the first game. He scored against his old club Leeds. He'll be disappointed with his effort there.
And if you're looking on this and thinking, I thought Salford were under salary cap restrictions, they are. They've named 17. There's no 18th man today. They've named 17, and that represents £1.2 million of their squad. There's no give in that at the moment. Cine. Looking across, a little dodge and a weave. Atkins made a grab. It's Morgan in the end who makes the telling tackle. With the help of Watkins. Here's Okoro. And again, if you've been missing the build-up, they have been paid, the Salford players. So at the moment, all is good. Hoy. Now they look for the burst, but Lawler can't keep a hold of that. And Salford have it back.
Oh, he's just trying to find that short pass, Fletcher Rooney. And George Lawler, who's ever dependable for this side, as he has been all the way through his career, including at Hull KR. He's just run past the ball, can't reach back. And the mistake he's made.
Big charge forward from Bullock, relatively fresh to the field, having arrived a couple of moments ago. Morgan, now Sneed, pops it back. Briley's involved, looking left, cross. Just has to surge to catch the ball, and Sims ready and waiting. Here's Masters. Hill taking on the challenge, flicks it nicely away. Morgan an extra 10 metres, and the step gives him a little bit of gap in which to work, but Hoy closes down and makes the tackle, and Salford will finish the set in very handy position here. A little chip by Sneed towards that corner, but it's taken not on the full, the referee says, but
Great work.
has got back in the field of play.
Great work from Rooney in the backfield under pressure. What a start from Salford. Oh, they just got themselves out the blocks too early. Referee had no option. There was a couple offside. I'll tell you what, Salford Red Devils, I thought that Cass had to set the tempo, set the pace, control the game. But it's been the away team that have done all the damage. No points on the board just yet. I think they've got the mental advantage here, the Red Devils.
And there will be a nervousness in both sides, won't there? Given the fact that they've not won a game so far. They've both identified this as possibly a must-win at this stage.
Yeah, pressure can do strange things. Obviously, Cass have had no idea who's going to be on the team sheet. That's its own, presents its own difficulties as Lawler juggles the ball again.
Manages to reel it in. Here's Rob. Volley across the line and looking to find a bit of width down that left-hand side. But Salford closing things down. Rob again just pointing the way ahead to his teammates. Brings it right to Hoy. He's got a lovely little step, but three more waiting for him back on the inside. Rob. Griffin. Sees a little bit of a bend in the Salford line that he can have a punch at. Picked up by Rob once more. It's Rooney who's getting involved as well. And that will be it. That will be it. So not the best ending to the set.
I'm not sure about that one. Cass Tigers run it on the last tackle. Sometimes it's a deliberate tactic to corner your opposition and you can pressure defensive. Oh, he's away.
Break is on here. Suddenly, a little bit of a step from Hankinson as well, which will take him over the halfway line, but some distance covered. 40 metres plus now, and Salford, they thought they had the advantage, but Bullock drops the ball. The referee says play on, and Castleford ain't hanging about in his senior now. Arrowing between defenders, still going. He's gone diagonally from left to right, still trying to push them off. Eventually, he's grabbed a hold of by Briley, but Castleford come again. Hoy skipping and carrying. Salford's defence having to stand firm here, because here's a test. Rob. And it's a hammering run forward by Okoro. He's lost the ball. Watkins picks it up, and Salford can clear their lines. Wow. We are seeing some mistakes here tonight, Barry.
Well, the team that can settle down, cut out those mistakes. Hankinson made a glorious break. You're right, 40 metres upfield. Mark Sneed on the left is screaming for it. It went to the right, Bullock drops it, and then Cass go down the other end of the field and do the same.
Here's Bullock.
Settle down, boys. That'll be the message from both coaches. And if you don't settle down, get those skills right.
It's Watkins.
Liam Horn has entered the field for Cass Tigers. He's one of those players that energises the players around him.
Sneed away to Briley. Briley puts a bit of a spin on. Bit of speed. Hoy grabs his ankles. Salford are on the last. Back comes to Briley. Not sure he was expecting that, but he's reacted quickly enough. Kick towards the corner, but Rooney picks it up. And Castleford safely have it back again.
I think he forgot what tackle it was then. Masters ended up with a one-handed pass back to Briley. They got away with it.
Holding down too long on Liam Horn, and the penalty goes Castleford's way.
Jack Ormonroyd has had a big start. He's put some heavy contact in on some of the bigger men, but he's trying to control the ruck speed. Talks about Liam Horn and the involvement he has in the game. You can see he just clinches, just holds on too much. They're looking for a possible bit of damage to the back of the head, the back of the neck. Crusher type tackle, they can't find anything. They crack on.
Red line, boys, red line.
One finds touch. Castleford tap restart on the halfway line, and Sini is the man who will drive it in the first instance.
Stand! Wait.
Danny Maguire sitting at the back of the stands in the darkness, looking on.
I'll tell you, we'll be happy. 18, 19 minutes on the clock. Brett Delaney from the Castleford club, defensive coach, will be happy with the effort of his side so far. Scramble.
That was a forward pass, wasn't it? Well, the referee's given a penalty for Cass.
Time off.
It's called time off. I can only assume it's taking somebody out. Yeah, is it Callum Watkins?
Yeah.
Callum Watkins is just
tad late, isn't he? Tad late.
I don't like watching it in slow motion. I like to watch it full speed. At full speed, I didn't think there was that much wrong with it. It's probably a penalty and nothing else. Need him on the field, won't they? A running threat with the ball. And you can see Callum Watkins.
He was committed to the tackle.
It's a penalty.
Wasn't he?
It's a penalty for me.
This is fully recovered. Just having a word with the video referee here as well is Chris Kendall, to see if there's any further requirements on the field. The penalty has been given.
Callum!
The longer they look at it.
Here we go. Callum Watkins is being called out.
I honestly, I hate these yellow cards in this scenario, in this situation. It's secondary contact with the head.
Secondary. The fact it's late and brings it to 10 metres.
Secondary contact with the head, late.
You can see from the surprise of Callum Watkins. I'm all for making the game safe. You're talking about fractions of a second, millimetres. He goes up, he's putting pressure. Everything looks worse in slow motion, doesn't it? Really up against it now. Backs against the wall as if they weren't already.
Yeah, grimace from Watkins. But Castleford very happy with the situation they find themselves in here. Can they exploit? Miller backing in. A little bit of a twist. Seeing if he can offload. He can offload. Castleford keep it alive. This is Horn. He can't get it away. And
Head contact.
Hill calls him round the top of the head.
Now Chris Hill is pleading that the player with the ball, I think it's Liam Horn, is on his way to the ground.
Yeah, I agree. Still can't make contact.
We watched a couple last night at Hull FC, didn't we? I think John Wilkin, when he analysed it at half-time, got it absolutely bang on. The reckless nature is different.
Which is illegal. You cannot make contact with the head. All right, now listen. Who to expect me to move from that situation? Do you want me to explain, or are you just happy talking? Right. You cannot make contact with the head, all right? It feels like you feel aggrieved with the sin bin, and you've gone out now headhunting. So we need to come back down. No, listen, we need to come back down, play the rest of the game how we have been doing.
Well,
penalty.
there you go, the explanation. Chris Hill arguing his case for the defence. But the referee's right. You cannot make contact with the head, whatever the circumstances. And Chris Hill's right to feel as though he was, you know, where else was he supposed to go? But that's just the way the game is at the moment. And Castleford find themselves only 5 metres out and looking to turn this into a bit of goal. Horn keeps it alive. RC puts it to this right-hand side, and Hoy with a skip. He takes them on. Sneed banging into him in the first instance. 2 more defenders closing down. There's another set of 6 here. Another set of 6 for Castleford. It's all on at the moment. Sini swings it back in again. This now is Okoro trying to step into the gap, and Horn is there in support. And despite the best efforts of Hill, Horn is over to score the first try of the night. Castleford, they were all over Salford in the last few moments. The try looked inevitable, and so it came.
It had to come, didn't it? It had to come. All that possession, all that field position, a man less in the defensive ranks for the Salford Red Devils, with Callum Watkins being sent to the sin bin. 20 minutes of stalemate. It was a good break, good decision to get it to the big man Okoro, who rides a tackle, gets a beautiful one-handed offload away, and Chris Hill desperately tries to keep Liam Horn from putting that ball down once he's near the try line, but he makes no mistake. I said he'd make an impact. I said he would energise his teammates, and he's racked up the first points of the night for his team.
Well, there'll be a feeling of relief in amongst those Castleford players, but they have hit the lead, helped by Salford having been reduced to 12 men. And then on the back of that penalty.
Such a live wire, isn't he, Liam Hall? Can play a number of positions. Where's the 9? Well, just give him the ball and let him play.
Troy looking to add the 2 here. Salford fans behind those sticks, standing silently at the moment, but the rest of the ground is very animated. Castleford leading here by 6 points to 0.
I'm not sure it will be happiness in the minds of these Castleford players. It'll be relief more than anything. But to contrast that to the Salford side, they'll be disappointed because they've handed that opportunity. They've handed that advantage. Callum Watkins, who's so consistent with his performances, he's on the sideline now and they just couldn't defend. The 6 again just was the final straw that broke the camel's back.
Well, they'll be feeling the pain at the moment, Salford. Never mind the bank balance. Look at the scoreboard. Just at this stage, 6-0 down. Sneed restarts, Castleford had it back. Griffin advances, but finds a good response from those Salford defenders.
It's going to be interesting to watch the minds now and what are the attitude of the Salford players.
Yeah, that was the thing of the Leeds game, wasn't it, when it was a full-strength Salford team. They just looked as though they didn't have the minds on affairs that day, and understandably so, given what was going on behind the scenes. But they have to somehow put all that behind them here tonight and respond to this Castleford challenge, which is growing in threat.
Nice work from Kane Robb out of dummy half. Good sign for Cass when your 9's running out.
Boy, back on the inside for Lawler. Lawler's crabbing across and creating a little bit of space and arcs away. But they've only one to go. Robb. Threatened chip and a chase. Nearly goes out wide. And I think it's Hill who's over there who drops on it, isn't it?
He's all over the field at the big Chris Hill, isn't it? Sloppy end to that set. After points, you just want to get to your kick. Sam Wood ends up having the ball dislodged. It's an unconvincing end to the set, let's put it that way.
Go! You've got to be quicker!
Looking as though they were keen to keep it alive through cross, but decides against the gamble. Hankinson, and it's a penalty for Salford. That will help them. Castleford is put on the back foot again here.
Not square.
Chris Hankinson, with ball in hand, has caused problems whenever he's got involved. Salford rotating, they'll have to be really clever with the rotations. Paul Rowley will have thought of how he's going to balance the energy of his pack of forwards. There'll be some players that will have to do a lot longer than they're normally used to. But that's where the coach earns his money. He's had to go over the sideline now. Recharges batteries.
He's put some effort in, hasn't he? He's bullet with that first carry in this set. Morgan up to dummy half. Sneed standing expectantly to that left-hand side. One dummy, then back to Briley. Looking for the scissors back on the inside. Castleford dealing on that occasion with Masters. Morgan straightened up, challenge on again, 3 tackles to go. Salford nicely placed here just at the moment. Foster's up there as well. He will charge it in. They're creeping closer and closer. Castleford needing to keep their mettle just at this stage. Atkin, across it goes, little shuffle on that right-hand side, and they're searching here. McDonald's searching, back down the middle again.
Oh, he needed support.
Here's the last. This is Sneed. Chip and chase from him, but huge leap by Sim. Up he went, down he came, ball in hand.
Well, Nenny McDonald over on that right side for Salford was holding the ball out, expecting some support. He made a dent, opened up the line, and the kick was dealt with pretty easily by Josh Sim.
Now it's Lawler, robust in his efforts. Salford pushed back to the halfway line by the referee. Horn with a pass away, and this is looking good again. Terrific stuff. Mustafa, who's on the field, looking fresh and fairly vigorous as well. It's back with Asi, and still they move forward menacingly. One play to go. Asi puts it up in the air. Cross comes over to try and help diffuse the issue, but it's knocked on, I think, by Sini. It is, and Salford get the tap back on the 20.
Almost perfect from Cas Tigers. I think when he has the ball in his hand at the back end of the set, when he chooses to kick, his quality of kick is good enough to cause problems. And then Zach Sini have said, it's a good start to 2025. He almost gets it, doesn't he?
Ball step.
Oh no, George! Liam, wait here. Wait, go to.
Still plenty of tackles to go here.
Another good carry, isn't it, from the Blackpool Beast?
Move, George! Back. Go free.
Big Joe Bullock carting it forward.
Free.
Sneed, oh, lovely little pass. Chan has dropped it, and there are two knock-ons there.
Mustafa almost looked a long way upfield and thought, that is a long way for me to run.
He's allowed to hold his ground.
Another mistake. Chan fumbles it forward. And Mozi Mustafa just come fresh off the bench. Can't regather it.
Scrum, it's here. It's here.
And it's only a half-hearted look upfield. He's desperate for the referee to blow that whistle.
That's the other game tonight, which of course you can see on Sky Sports Action. St Helens 0, Hull KR 4.
10 seconds!
Battle at the top end of the table compared to this at the bottom end.
Both games, Dave. Somebody's all has got to go.
Yep. Unless they share the points. Well, then both those go.
Move now, 1.
4. There's a lot of numbers, movement. A lot of movement in the background there from Castleford players.
2. Move, Nene, to go back!
Wood goes down, gets up, plays. Eventually, no, he doesn't. He's knocked on. Knocked it on. Well, there's frustration for Cass. A little moment of jubilation from Salford.
There's been quite a few mistakes, unforced errors, as you'd say. Standing up to play the ball. Yeah, there's a knee in there from Nene McDonald, but Sam Wood,
With a touch to Jay.
that's his second mistake in a couple of minutes. But big changes for Cas Tigers. Rimbu on, Namo on, the two P&G internationals, and Paul Rowley looks on. He'll be relatively happy. Half an hour. They're not out of the game. They're only behind on the score by just the one try.
Here's Masters.
1. Move, Sylvester!
Salford back up to 13 because Callum Watkins is back on the field.
2. Move, Judah!
They want to make up Callum Watkins. Get him ready.
It's Morgan inside for Foster.
Oh, George Lawler!
Morgan again. Young player, ex-Leeds Academy, isn't he, Kai Morgan? Here's a threatener, but Chan wrapped up.
Move! Line, wait, Judah. Wait, go for it.
Slung back to the middle, Sneed. Offers it to a couple, then goes wider to Atkin. Atkin out there, Brian is involved, but the pass goes backwards. It has been rescued.
Move!
They keep possession, but they've lost momentum.
Go 5.
Penultimate play. Atkin just booting it as high as he can. The chase is on there, but that's Rooney's underneath that, takes it back.
Well, that's a better result, isn't it, for Cas Tigers? Whenever Mark Sneed is not the kicker, and he's the chaser as he is on that occasion, they've got a chance. Senior.
The senior fancies going the distance. He's a big fella. He's a strong one, isn't he? And he just tries to push defenders off, but takes a tumble in the end, which makes him an easier target.
He's a triple threat, isn't he? He's big, he's tall, he's exceptionally fast.
Rimbo.
East down, all the way! 4. Move!
Namo dealt with. Rimbo picks it up again, and a spring in his step as well.
Move!
But they've reached the last. Horn just waiting. Percy looking left. Wood stepping back in, and again they hit the 6 without a real threat to that Salford line.
I'm looking at the body language of the number 6 in your screen, DJ Arce, who would normally take control, and I think they're better when he takes control.
Wait, Sylvester. Go on. 2. Move. George must wait.
Well, there's not much in it, is there? Half an hour played. Cass have been involved in a couple of tight games, haven't they? That loss against Bradford in the Challenge Cup, and then pushing OKR very near the distance. Is this a 40-20? It bounces. It's a right angle of a bounce. Somehow, they get back to keep it in play.
It's a great good
effort, wasn't it?
Guy Morgan out from 9. I like a 9 that can kick. Danny Walker's one of the best in the business at it. Had to work hard then, senior, to keep it in the field of play.
Having kept possession, he now carries possession. Looks for a yard or two forward. Rimbo. There's Wood.
Third. Move. Tiake. Wait. Go through.
Rimbo. Past Horn to Hoy. Hoy again just offering the impression that he was going to pass the ball and then tries to squeeze through those 2 defenders. Rimbo with a one-handed pickup. Rooney. Here's Rimbo.
There you go. That's a better end, isn't it, Dave?
This one in the air. Briley's got to get around across there. The ball's swirling around, but they've got the look of the bounce, and Cross can run it clear.
There's more threat to the kick. So the right man gets the ball in his hand.
Surrounded, wasn't he there? The chase, he had to cover some distance and then found himself surrounded. Morgan. He's had resting spell on the sidelines.
Go. Alex, you didn't get there, Alex!
They decide to leave it for Nenny MacDonald. They almost fumbled their lines there, didn't they?
He almost tripped himself up. Offload, there you go, there it is.
Done well. And still alive, and Sneed goes left to Chan.
If I'm a right-sided attacking player, I'm following Nenny MacDonald every time he carries it. He's great at getting the ball away. He's got 3 defenders around him there.
Good, strong battering run by Bullock. It could have come out a lot worse than it did. Sneed.
Don't put things like that in my mind.
Chip over the top, Rooney with a catch. But he had nowhere to go, and Salford will be satisfied with where they're making Castleford start from here.
Doing really well, the Red Devils. As we said before the ball was kicked, Paul Rowley's a master at harnessing all that everybody's against us negativity, putting it into his players and using it as fuel for the fire. They may tire towards the back end of this game because they haven't got the rotation that Cass Tigers have. But as long as they're in and in with a shout, then you wouldn't back against them.
Rimbo. Horn. Trying to get the better of Sneed. Sneed not going to allow that to happen. Rimbo's trying to kick, I think, out of dummy half. He didn't quite get in the position to do that. They do get a kick away. It's not a bad one in the end. And Briley, again, has to do some scampering to get across there. And Hankinson gives it back to Briley. And they'll be reasonably satisfied where they're starting from here.
I think Chris Hankinson's the most dangerous player with the ball in hand for Salford. Real threat, bit of pace, bit of speed. Might see him in the open.
Watkins. And they get it away, and Atkin. So they're building nicely here, Salford turning up the pressure.
They would love a try before half-time, going into that changing room, full of confidence. Even Stephen on the board.
Sneed, back it goes. Hop, skip, and a bit of a jump from Masters. Keeping them guessing. Dummy runner went right through the line, so no problems there. Watkins now. Oh, he has a lovely ball away! And Briley goes hurtling towards the corner. Big right foot step, and Salford have their first try. And it was a moment of velvety class. Brilliant offload.
What a ball.
And the speed and the footwork from Briley to score the try.
What skill on show. We've seen some fundamental mistakes with players dropping the ball with no pressure on them whatsoever. But that was absolute class from Salford, and Ryan Brierley finishes it off. But he will credit the offload. You can see, can't you? Salford Red Devils moving and bending and just knocking it out of shape. The defensive line, Callum Watkins with that familiar right footstep, a gorgeous right-handed offload. Ryan Brierley instinctively knows if he pushes up into the right place, that ball may appear, and if it does appear, he's going to collect it. Never takes his eyes off the right arm of Callum Watkins, and it needed some finishing as well.
It's a massive handbrake turn there, wasn't it? Put the brakes on completely, stopped almost, and then cut back on the inside.
Paul Rowley will be delighted, because two of the players he puts the most amount of importance on within the dynamic of his team is Callum Watkins and Ryan Brierley. Of course, Mark Sneyd, he's obviously influential, but Ryan Brierley can create things from nothing, and the inspiration, the leadership traits of Callum Watkins, who would have been so disappointed to be in the sin bin. Well, look at that, collective unity, collective thoughts. They're having a little bit of a chat to one another, and it will be all positive in that huddle.
Well, he never rushes things, Mark Sneyd. We know that. It's rare that he'll take a conversion and the clock isn't stopped.
It's rare that he misses as well, isn't it, Dave? He can take as long as he wants, within reason, when he slots them over as often as he does.
He's closing in on a landmark as well, very close to 2,500 career points. If he puts this over, it'll be 2,497. Right-angled run-up, and the flags are up to confirm, and we're all square again as half-time hurtles towards us. It's 6 points apiece.
Cannot emphasise how difficult this skill is from Callum Watkins. He goes around the defender, has perfect grip on the ball, delivers it into the path of the supporting Ryan Brierley, who had a job to do to get the ball down, but
Great work on the 10. Great work on the 10.
what a reply from Salford.
What does that do to the demons of the Castleford heads, by the way?
They'll wobble without a doubt. Danny Maguire will get him in at half-time and say, we've got to cut out the mistakes with the ball. That was class with the ball, but with in possession, making mistakes, giving the ball away is just unacceptable.
Good responsive defence here. They are dominating these opening two plays after the restart. Salford are having to work very hard to gain any yards here. Watkins does well. Twisting away, making sure he doesn't lose ground. And Sneyd will kick for a 20-40.
Got it.
It's going to be very close. It's gone out of play. It is a 20-40. Well, it's the ultimate defensive play. If you can't make yards because your opponents are keeping you pressed, then throw it back to Mark Sneyd, and he will do that. And Salford are given an attacking position. Wow, another big moment.
What skill, what rugby IQ from Mark Sneyd, knowing exactly what his side needs.
Don't kill the game here.
They're trying to find position again here, right. What a big moment, 1 minute to play. Slung back towards Sneyd. Sneyd pops it out there, trying to keep it alive. MacDonald using his big frame to urge his side ever closer. Morgan slings it back. Sneyd again now. Foster putting a bit of footwork on. Castleford defending desperately here, trying to keep themselves all level in the game. Sneyd again. Atkin plays it out. Watkins almost bursting through. Just about held up. Back it comes. Still got a couple of plays to go. They can still cause trouble here. Now it's the last. Morgan blocks in. He sees an opportunity. Ball's kept alive. Atkin, play on. Over to that right-hand side. Little step back on the inside again. They're keeping alive brilliantly. Foster hurdles towards the line, but Castleford desperately hanging on. And boy, did they need to, as the hooter sounds in the background, to bring an end to that first half. What a finish that was, Barry. What does that tell us about both teams' mentality?
Well, it tells us that Salford Red Devils have took absolutely no care in the world about what's going on outside. Once they've got on the field, they took no notice of the headlines, took no notice of the negativity. They've turned up here with a tremendous attitude and will go in buoyed by that last try. It's a great game, this game.
Well, it is all square. My goodness, you cannot separate them on the table, ladder and on the scoreboard at half-time. Castleford 6, Salford 6. My goodness, we've got a big second half to look forward to, and we'll be back in just a few moments to analyse that first half. You can enjoy every single game live right here on Sky Sports.
That's a great shot there.
Great tackle! This is getting fiery now. Magic Mikey strikes again.
Individual brilliance from a special player in Bevan French.
Strap yourselves in.
It's going to be a blockbuster. Rugby league, truly the greatest sport on the planet.
Well, every game live, and we've already seen some fabulous games, haven't we, this weekend? And we've got more to come next weekend. Salford against Huddersfield next Thursday night. Maybe they'll be talking about what's been happening on the field rather than off it by the time we get to that. St Helens, Warrington. This, of course, not next week. It's the week after. I do apologise. We've got a bit of a break from Super League next week. St Helens, Warrington on the Friday the 21st. Sky Sports Plus and main event for that one. And then also that night, Wakefield against Hull is an 8 o'clock kickoff on Sky Sports Plus. And then on the Saturday, 2 matches, Castleford against Catalan, 3 o'clock for that, Sky Sports Plus. Leeds against Wigan on 5:30 kickoff. Sports action and Sky Sports main event, and it all finishes on the Sunday. Hull Kingston Rovers against Lee. 3 o'clock kickoff for that, but that is in a fortnight's time, to remind you. Half-time here, Castleford 6, Salford 6. Horn with a try after the 21st minute. Ryan Briley getting one back in sensational style towards the end. And the other score tonight, St Helens 6, Hull Kingston Rovers 10 is the half-time score. Winners of that should be top of the table at the end of the night. So Barry McDermott, what have you made of that opening round, opening half?
It was a close contest. The quality in terms of unforced errors won't please the coaches, but it had plenty to look at. There's the yellow card. Callum Watkins adjudged to have made a late tackle. Just about 20 minutes on the clock, and you felt for Salford, you felt it might lead to a capitulation, but they dug in. Not before they gave another penalty and conceded a try. Chris Hill just catches Liam Horn, who was fresh off the bench, added energy, added enthusiasm, and a bit of zip around the ball. And Liam Horn was the player that benefited from a wonderful offload from Big Dan Okoro, who's had a couple of big charges. Well, I thought that was a decent offload, and I was really happy that I'm here to watch that. And I thought that would have been the best offload of the night until Callum Watkins stepped forward and produced a moment of madness. He went from villain to hero off the back of a bit of a scratch play from Salford. Right foot step, bang, wonderful offload to Ryan Briley, who does his best. A bit of evasion, a bit of footwork. They'll go in confident at half-time. Salford, as we say, 10 minutes without Callum Watkins, their captain, who produces that. Absolutely first class. Well, it's a real test of character for both sides now.
Well, these are the vital statistics of that first half. Salford, as you can see, just about dominating possession. They'll both be a little concerned about the completion rate, won't they?
There's not too much in it for either. Anything over 70% is about enough to win a game. It's those mistakes, it's those errors, 5 each, but they're not good errors. They're not like they're forcing and trying and testing defences. It's mistakes at the play of the ball and stuff like that that really disappoints coaches and players and deflates them.
Well, the telling stat is, as always, the one at the top line at 6 points apiece. Well, what can they expect in the second half? What can the Salford fans expect in the second half here? Remember, both sides looking to get their first points of what has been thus far a dismal season for all kinds of reasons. Different stories at different clubs. But half-time 6-6, and coming next is full second half. So it's all very tense at half-time, 6 points apiece between Castleford and Salford. They've both had moments which they'll look back on with some pride in that first period, but equally some concerning moments as well in that first half as well. There was a nervousness at times to both sides play, which is understandable given the position they find themselves at the bottom end of the table and the importance of this game. We did question whether Salford would have a full focus on a match given what's been happening off the field, which everybody knows about, but well, certainly the latter stages of that first half, they looked quite switched on, didn't they, Barry?
Yeah, I think Castleford will look back at that first half and think they'd had an opportunity. We started the game by talking about how rattled the Salford camp would have been, how vulnerable they would have been because of all the uncertainty off the field. They had to set the tempo, Cas Tigers. They had to control the game, but it was the away team, through the likes of Mark Sneyd, that took control, the kicking game in particular of Mark Sneyd. Every time we talk about his involvements, it's around that kicking game, that masterful tactical kicking game that he's got. But it's about the effort, it's about the attitude of Salford Red Devils. For me, they've turned up, and as they have done so many times, turned up with a real focus on let's prove everybody wrong.
Well, they'll make their own entertainment, waiting for the professionals to come back and show them how to really do it.
They'll get a gig, them two.
In the second half. Yeah, they've caught the ball. They're both, neither of them dropped it. We've seen quite a few moments of drops here, haven't we, in that first half from both teams. But Ryan Briley leading out his, or was it Chris Hankins leading out his team for this second half. So Salford are going to be out first. What do you think that their coach Paul Rowley will have said to their team at half-time?
I think he'd have pumped their tyres up. I think he'd have given them a message of well done, keep at it, more of the same, support each other, show that togetherness, that unity, play with resilience, which they have done in large periods of that first half. Cass, I know that Danny Maguire would have questioned his team's effort and attitude at times. Maybe the focus, trying to be stiffer in defence, not present opportunities to Salford Red Devils as they have done in that first 40.
Cheers, Ben.
So here we go for a big 40 minutes in this early season. No honours being written out, no plaudits being given at this stage. But when they look back at the end of the season, one of these two sides might see this as maybe a turning point in the season. First win and the confidence boost that gives you. Castleford have the early possession. And Salford will be looking to pin them as close down here as they possibly can. So some big efforts from both sides required in this opening set. Rimbo goes sprinting out of dummy half. He's got an electricity about him, hasn't he?
Edwin Apape, his time at Lee, is very similar in his approach, isn't it? Like a concrete block with legs.
Wood out of dummy half. Messi helping on its way. There's a bit of space being created on that far side. Cini now will carry it on with a threat. And they're doing well here, Cass. Remember, this is the opening set, and they've travelled a distance downfield. And Hoy threatening to do more. Horns there in support. The juggle is on, and it is going to be finished. Wow! Wow! Judah Rimbu on the end of that. Proper juggling act. No lack of skill in the breakthrough. We're going to the video referee to see this, if this is or not the score.
From Mustafa.
He says try on the field.
In relation to the ground, please.
Let's see what the video referee has to say.
The live column field is a try. That's fine, all up to now. Now this can be ruled on that bit. Is that classed as a knock-on? Because he's never had possession of the ball, this can be checked, it can be ruled. I need to see if this has gone forward in comparison to the ground. That doesn't really show me anything. See, the ball is touched there. And if we look at that now, how it's touched from that angle, right, it's touched and it's touched forwards. Doesn't matter where it lands behind the man, right, it's touched forwards. There is no flip back. Okay, it's where, in comparison to the land, that goes. And again, I'm saying this is not a pass, this is being checked for if that is a knock-on or not. So it's clearly touched there. It's not flipped backwards, or not backwards. See if we get anything on this angle. That really doesn't show me anything in terms of where we're at with that. I'm going to go back to this angle where it's touched. So you can see it's touched there, just near and on the line. And the net player is well in front of the line when he catches it. So it's touched there on the line. And the player who actually catches the ball catches it there. I'm going to go back to this angle, because this will show it clear. The ball is touched, and the ball is touched forwards, which would be a knock-on in comparable to where it is on the ground. Thank you, I've now made my decision.
Well, a full explanation from Ben Thaler, you heard that. Had he caught the ball and passed it, they could have not made a judgment on a forward pass, but they can on a knock-on. And that is not the most popular decision of the night. It has been ruled out. No try.
What a shame. Obviously, it was Mustafa with his hands almost facing the sticks, touches the ball. It goes forward in relation. Do you know what, Dave? I think sometimes we look for a reason to disallow a try instead of looking for a reason to give it. What great rugby league. Rim boot.
Well, the question is, does that kick in the teeth for Castleford, how does it affect them now? Do they rail against that and lift again, or do they feel, you know what, this is not going to be our night, and maybe sag a little in the next few minutes?
Well, it's another opportunity they didn't take.
Well, Salford are looking straight away to put the foot on the throat again as Briley comes running it out. Hankinson searching down the middle.
Two players get up limping. Ryan Briley looks like he's got a lower limb injury, and Sam Wood, when they make this tackle, they both get entangled.
Sam Wood holding his hip and his lower back, and he's getting back into position at the moment, the big number 4, but he's not looking very healthy at all. He's looking in all kinds of discomfort. Salford spotted that, they run at him here. It's moved back his way. Sneed now. He is trying to isolate him here. The missed pass, gathered in by Hankinson. Good recovery.
Just behind him, Chris Atkin. Sight's not quite right.
Sneed with a kick. Searching back again, and it's allowed to bounce, and Watkins has a look. Oh, he didn't know where it was momentarily. Had he been aware of where that ball was, that was a try-scoring opportunity. But he lost the flight, and Castleford survives, scrambling away for a dropout underneath the sticks.
Fletcher Rooney trying to get up and secure that ball, but because of the bodies, the bounce of the ball, because he doesn't catch it, goes over that back line, they'll have to drop out. And another good chance for Salford.
10 seconds.
Well, it ain't a classic in terms of the purity of the rugby league we're watching. Oh, but what about that? What about
getting the congratulations of his teammates, Tex Hoy.
Well, I was going to say,
It's going to be a turnover.
it's not one for the purists here tonight, but I tell you what, there's a story with every turn, isn't there?
You say that though, Dave. When I watch a game of rugby league, I want uncertainty of outcome. I want to tune into a game, cheering for the underdog, marvelling at the perceived winner, and see what happens in those 80 minutes.
Namo with a big carry, and still going, and still going. Well, that lifts the noise in the stadium, and lifts the mood of his teammates. Rimbo goes out, and again he finds room in which to move, and gets it on again, and Mustafa will charge and score. They ain't ruling that one out. It's a flourish of the finish. It's a huge grin, and Castleford do have their try.
Love it, Dave. Love it. Mustafa, one of the most popular players in any team, gets a well-deserved try. There's nobody that would have felt worse when that try was scratched off. Well, the kick goes up, the dropout goes over the sideline. Perfect position, perfect accuracy, caught Salford by surprise. Movement at dummy half, Rimbu out. He finds Muzzy Mustafa, who gallops under the H's. Love watching a prop forward get in from that far, Dave. Love it.
Talking about the front row, what about the man in the middle? The hooker there, Rimbo, what about his role in that? That was pretty special too, wasn't it?
Yeah, getting out, threatening from dummy half. It's not just about the accuracy of the passes, the decision-making. You've got to have a threat at 9, and he certainly is a threat. Kane Robb, Liam Horn, Judah Rimbu, they've got some threats, haven't they, at dummy half, Cass?
Hoy will stick it over as he was expected to do. And Castleford suddenly jump out into a 12-6 lead. What a start to this second half. One try ruled down, a bit of a dropout wonderment, and then this to finish it all off for the moment.
Great gallop from the big fella. I'd love to know what Danny Maguire has said to his players. They look like a different team, don't they? Certainly the evidence of the first 5.5 minutes.
Well, this is a night. Good heavens, I thought we were going to have another foot in touch moment there, but didn't quite come to that.
Important now when Cat's in this possession. That's another good charge. He's made a difference, hasn't he, Namu?
With real intent. Rimbo's going out of dummy half with every carry. This is making the break every time. Have a look at this. He was waiting. I think the plea was to his teammate, you'd let me catch that, we'd have had a penalty on the halfway line.
That's the longest leg spread I've ever seen. It's about 3 metres covering.
Rimbo putting out, offside against Salford. Penalty, which Hoy wants to take quickly. Referee says calm it down.
Tex Hoy talks about the tempo of the game, the pace of the game, taking control. Tex Hoy wants to kick that ball over the sideline. The speed of the play of the ball because of charges by Namo, Mustafa, Salford struggling to get back. That's where that momentum starts from some big carries.
Hoy puts it out of play. Here come Castleford set fair again to have another go. Hoy's in the middle of it. Horn's there as well, and he sees a gap, and he's looking for the offload. Couldn't quite get it away. Rimbo dances in. Oh, it's very untidy, but it is a penalty. Salford hands Foster. So penalty, surely they go for goal from here.
Yeah, I think they would. I'm just... When I saw Rimbu stumble and hit the deck, automatically my spider senses are tingling. We'll have a look at it on the replay. Yeah, I think he's made a meal of that, Rimbu. The defender shouldn't have been in the ruck, shouldn't have been around the play of the ball. I think it's Matty Foster who ends up getting entangled. But I think that's played for Ngok by the substitute. They look a different team, don't they? Judah Rimbu and Sylvester Namo, when they've come on, have made a real difference.
There's been a real fire in their response in this second half, hasn't there? As you say. And this to give themselves a 2-score lead. First time on the night. And over it goes. So 3 out of 3 for Hoy, and 14 points to 6. And there's an element of comfort, just a glimmer of comfort here that Castleford have not had so far this season with a 2-score lead.
But not much possession for Salford in this second half. They're going to cause some problems when they eventually get hold of the ball. That's where Cass needs to switch on in defence.
Needs to put it downhill. Chris Hill is back on the field, by the way.
Oh no, Chris! Guess where?
Here's Rimbo. So much energy in this Castleford pack at the moment. It might burn a little as fatigue begins to set in, but just at this stage, Salford have got their hands full.
If the pack of forwards play with high energy, they can compensate for the fact that they're not particularly big pack.
Oh, he's off again here, Rimbo. He's off again.
But if they can play with that explosive speed and power.
There's a kick, not what he was hoping for. A little hand wave of apology, I think, there from Assi, because he wanted to get it much closer to the touchline. Salford are not exactly gifted position, but it's a lot better position to start the set than they might have expected. Sneed. It's his cross.
How does Salford get themselves back in this game? That's a question. That'll help them. Go bulk in the first 20 minutes.
One of the startling things about the stats we saw at half-time was the amount of metres that Castleford covered compared to Salford, and Salford struggling in the early plays in this set, but now beginning to make a much more honest effort for the latter plays. Last play in this. Sneed jabbing it up in the air, and up and down is Rooney.
That's one of the tried and tested tactics for Salford. High kicks, put pressure on the capture, and then ramp up, really getting the starting blocks in defence. Make it difficult for territory, and at best force a mistake. Oh! He's kept hold of it!
Was very nearly the mistake that Salford were hoping for. My goodness.
Sam Wood's had an off night, hasn't he? He's a joint captain. Joint captain, but he's having a shocker.
Horn. See, just popping it over the top. There's a bit of space in which to run here for Senior.
Does well, Arce then, doesn't he? As defenders coming out the line, chooses the right option in the end. Almost a line break for them. Last tackle.
So they realised that it was that, so sends it up there. Cross is back to take it.
Get into it. As the crowd here at the Jungle start to get behind their side now. In front on the scoreboard, look competent on the ball. I know that wasn't your traditional kicker. Look at that scoreline.
The Rovers pushing that lead a little further. Oh, that's a lovely run from Morgan, and he's found the gap and shoots through. Where's his support? He might not need any support the way he's going. He eventually finds it, and Watkins will finish. They have gone fully 60 yards, and it started with a youngster, Kai Morgan, who's absolutely delighted with himself, and so he should be. And Watkins finishes, and just like that, Castleford, from a high, are flattened by that Salford response.
Well, I talked about a run threat at 9, didn't I? Kai Morgan jumps out at 9, almost made a mess of it. The referee did his best to put himself in the way of the supporting Callum Watkins. As you can see, they just clock off. Liam Horn, who's been so impressive with the ball, doesn't complete his mission at defender. Callum Watkins still has a bit of pace, still has enough pace to support Kai Morgan and convert that chance and opportunity into points. They're not going away, are they, the Red Devils?
No. Castleford were in a position to push the game their way comfortably. But then this happens and suddenly it's game back on.
You can just see what he's thinking. Liam Horn is worried about the player he thinks might get the ball, and that is picked up by Kai Morgan, who does ever so well to keep the ball in two hands, as if to motion towards the pass, and then bang, drops the hammer. Delighted fans at the back of the sticks to see the side still in it.
Well, they deserve the side still going, full stop. They'll be delighted to have made this trip over here tonight and be able to cheer on their team. So Mark Sneed with a chance to bring it back to within 2 points. Rowley plots from on high. One attempt at goal tonight and one success for Sneed. Back on the goal. Just has eye for the ball. Comes looping round. Strikes it well and well. Never mind the iconic kicking style, just have a look at what results. 14 points to 12, game back on again with still 27 minutes to go.
Good enough from Mark Sneed. I think the kids call it side-eye, Dave, but 4 turns into 6, he does ever so well. Kai Morgan, and again the effort to get there to support the player results in a try by the captain.
Well, I'd never doubt that you're down with the kids, Barry, so I'll take your word on that.
I have kids, that's about as far as it goes. They talk at me, not to me.
Salford come again. Castleford now looking for their response. It's a game in the balance.
At points, each side has had its own turn of digging deep. Salford had to dig deep at the start of the second half when they conceded that try. Nice pass from Hill. It's Cast Tigers now who have to dig deep and get themselves back in the game.
Here's Morgan again. Atkin. A stepping
Offload
from McDonald. One to go, Sneed. Chip and a chase this time from Mark Sneed, mixing up and chasing it up and almost getting back there. The ball's gone free. Rooney spilt it, still gone backwards. So Cass keep it untidily, but now they have a chance to respond as well.
He's full of tricks, isn't he, Mark Sneed? A little chip and chase. Those are the types of players that could come off on a night like this. You see that scoreboard, 14-12. How important could that penalty, that rim boot, play the ball?
Oh, wow. In the air. Atkin gets right underneath him, but the referee's quick to reassure him that it's only a penalty and no more. But as we always say, once the legs go up,
he settles everybody down. That's a little man going low on a big man, and then the momentum of that bigger man probably contributes. It looks bad, but Chris Atkin, I don't think he's done an awful lot wrong there.
Castleford replant themselves in Salford's half. Horn helps it on its way. Rimbo.
Offload.
Lawler's travelling well. Down that right edge.
He ran right at Mark Sneed, who took exception, didn't it?
Sonny. Boy comes looking, delivers. Let's see, over the top to Wood, who reaches. Long-legged, long-backed, and he needed every inch of that height there to keep that ball. And here's another big one in his senior. Let's see, he pops it up. Just a big effort forward by Griffin. 2 tackles to go for Castleford. Camping on that Salford line. Rimbu comes left as he puts a little kick through. The chase is on. Has Wood got there?
He's picked up another knock while he's doing. what he's doing to try and score the try.
He's tackled 4. Last call of no try.
No try on the field, and there doesn't seem much complaint there, does there? So
no.
Let's hear from the video referee on this one.
It'll be all review. Our view is that everyone's going towards the ball, but...
So, live call on field of no try. Everybody's on side the kick who we need to be concerned about, to the left. So just going round to this angle here, which is probably the best. So we're just going on from that. That's fine. I'm okay with where the players are. There's no obstructions in the build-up. It's what happens here. Right, I think we can clearly see. Even if it's touched there by Brearley's foot, it then touches the Castleford player's left hand, and then there is separation, clear separation, and it hits the floor. Thank you. I've now made my decision.
Short and sharp, Dave. We like them like that, don't we?
Yeah, I don't think anyone will have any complaints about that.
Sam would more or less give himself away, didn't he? He wasn't confident, but you accidentally made a great point, as we see.
Accidentally made a great point, Barry.
I'll wait and see the no try sign come up.
No try, no goal.
But you talked about the height of Sam Wood. You talked about the height in his senior. If you add Alex Mellor into the mix over on this left side, why Cass aren't kicking high, trying to out-jump their opposition?
Move, George!
Yeah, you accidentally made it. But I'll give you the credit. There you go.
Well, Salford come again. 2 tries disallowed in the second half now for Castleford.
Wait, go on.
Good charge from Harvey Wilson, fresh off the bench.
Move!
Young Waterhead Jr.
Ex-Wigan Academy as well, isn't he? Hill with a flat pass. Gone to ground. Almonroyd. It's an ambitious pass to such a big fella. It's just a bit low, wasn't it?
Again, a poor mistake from Salford. Nothing much really happening.
George, I think it was you in
Jack Almonroyd is disappointed with himself.
Just dropping on him, wasn't it?
Let's go, back down, boys. 10 seconds. Head in, Ryan.
So plenty more to look forward to. Catalan leads tomorrow, of course. Warrington, Wakefield and Wigan against Huddersfield, both on Sunday afternoon, 1 o'clock kickoff. Wherever you're watching this game, that's where you'll be able to watch those 2 games. And that is not gone out of play. The ball was left behind.
I don't know how he's kept in field there, Dave. Fletcher Rooney looked like he was heading towards the seats. In a stand underneath us.
There's Mellor. Alex Mellor. Rimbu. Salford player left on the ground here as well, injured. Atkin, who's not looking very healthy at the moment. You see him there at the bottom of your screen, just running back into position. Ball up and plays. Griffin now puts it back. It's a measured kick again. Oh my goodness! Hankinson got up there, fingertips, and boy was that important.
That's the ticket though. Put it high. Make a competition over on this left side for Cass Tigers, but Chris Hankinson did remarkably well to get up, hands outstretched. Another 3 or 4 inches, that goes into the path of Innis Senior, and it's a try for the home team.
Very little in it.
Good timing.
Sneed pops it back. Riley's getting involved. This is good again from Salford. Cross comes cutting back towards the middle, looking to cut through those Castleford defenders. Quickly into dummy half is Morgan in position. Sneed again. Then he pops it short. Almonroyd trying to force his way through. Quick play the ball. 2 Castleford players left on the ground, so they've got an advantage somewhere here, Salford, with numbers. Sneed.
Fifth tackle, Dave.
A little bit over-excitement because of that numerical advantage, I think, and they just run out of play.
They got carried away with the momentum, didn't they?
Let's go.
They just started to poke their heads through that set of 6. Jack Almonroyd in particular. 2 players down on the deck. It's too tempting for for Salford not to run with the ball.
Surrender!
Who's winning this one, Barry?
Stand!
Well,
90 minutes.
last quarter, the first quarter of the second half has all been about the home team. I suppose it's how Salford can get into the game and stay into the game. But to answer the question, it's anybody's guess.
Oh, here's Rimbo. There's a ripple of excitement every time he picks it up because he looks threatening. It's always a temptation maybe to overdo it from that position when you're getting the success he's been getting at times. Still keeping it alive here. There's some fancy footwork going on at the moment. Always smuggle away to Okoro.
They've run 60 metres with the ball and all of them sideways and backwards.
Messi sticking it up in the air again. Hankinson underneath it, but there are so many Castleford players there. It's knocked on
that,
by
Dave.
Salford.
There you go, high kick, contest.
Well, there's a couple of Castleford coaching staff sitting not too far away from us, Barry. I don't know if they picked up your tactical incision.
They do well not to listen to me, Dave, that's for sure. But a high kick, a contest. Chris Hankinson said before he's probably the most dangerous player with the ball in his hand. From deep anyway, but when players and numbers are running towards him, it's a difficult job.
Salford's heading feed. 18 minutes, 17 and a half minutes to play.
Rimbu's out of the scrum. Got 4 on the right.
Very decent carry here by McDonald, who's got a ball away again from Hankinson. Morgan in at dummy half. Salford switching it left. Here's Morgan. Searching that blind side again, and Atkin goes scurrying away. Taken high, penalty for Salford.
Zach's seen it. The centre for Cass Tigers gives the penalty away. They hit the accelerator, didn't they? He's backpedaling. And Chris Atkin, who's got some pace, certainly off the mark anyway.
They're going for goal here.
Well, as we've said, he's the most accurate kicker in the game at the minute. Left-footed kicker, left side. It's not his best side, but he's backing himself. And that sets it up nice. If that goes over, 14-14. You said to me before the game...
Make sure we all stay behind the line.
Golden point.
You said to me before the game, I hope they get golden point again tonight. Look how far it is. I don't think distance is a problem for this player. Accuracy is not a problem for this player. I'm going to back him here. I say he gets it, Dave. What about you?
Well, I don't know. I ain't committing. Ain't committing.
Coward.
What I will predict, and we're already seeing it, is he will not hurry.
He's got the distance. This is a shorter field than most Super League teams. So although that's the red line is the 40-metre line in effect, it's not 40 metres out, is it?
The other code have a shot clock on goal kicks, don't they? Penalties and conversions. They can
Here it is.
stop the clock, but it still takes a while.
Here it is, side eye.
40 metres. 20 to the left of the sticks. How is Sneed's accuracy from here? No, he's missed it, and Castleford get it back. So they missed the chance of 2 points, and they missed the chance of applying pressure. Hindsight's a wonderful thing, but will they regret having gone for 2? Rimbo running another run.
There's plenty of time left in this game. I think the decision to take the 2 is to apply pressure mentally to Cass.
Didn't miss by much, but it missed, and that's what matters, and so did the pass. Almost given away. They've lost ground.
Again sloppy with the ball, Cass.
Rimbo's up again.
Ball. Move! Back. Go.
Rimbo flicking it back towards the middle. Oh, the read is on, but the pass got away, and Wood now has a little bit of room in which to wiggle, and now he can put the foot down and try and carry on. Rimbo's there in support, sliding the kick towards the corner. The dive is in, the dive is on, and Sim might just have scored the try.
Is he onside?
Well, brilliance from Rimbo,
Time off.
getting that kick away and putting the perfect weight
Right,
on.
Ben, he's tackled 4.
Sim had to get
No
there.
try.
No try on the field, though.
He's onside from the kick we've ruled.
So let's have a listen to the video referee. Ben Baylor's been called into action again.
So we have a live call on field of no try, and that's a knock-on, or potential knock-on, or just drowning the ball, because all the players there to right hand side are onside. So now we're coming to this, nice and slow. Goes to pick up the ball. And where does it ball go? Does it get the ball down, or does it actually, does it touch? The grip of the ball says that's fine, right? He gets the ball there. Now, does that ball at that point touch the ground, or actually does it touch his knee and then go away? So let's look at this nice and slow on this angle. So clearly he gets the ball. Ball's grounded on his own leg. It's not touched the ground. Keep it going. Right, if we go back on this, you can clearly see the Castleford player takes possession of the ball. He grounds the ball on his own leg. It stays up, and the ball is then lost. And the ball goes over dead ball line. Thank you, I've now made my decision.
Wow.
It's going to be more heartbreak. More heartbreak for Castleford, because this ain't going to stand. I think Cas fans think this was scored. They might not have been able to see the finer detail. Have a listen. Oh, they can't believe it. They can't believe it. But had they seen what we had seen, and most crucially Ben Baylor had seen, it clearly wasn't a try.
Well, credit where it's due. Ben Baylor suspected there was something wrong with the way that the ball came out after the grounding, in inverted commas, but he grounded the ball on his leg. It never touched a blade of grass, spurted forward, and again another missed opportunity.
3 no tries. 3 no tries for Cas. Are they going to rue that? They still lead, but
It's so hard to judge a bouncing ball. He tries to pause and slow down. He tries to collect the ball. Josh Sim, it bounces the wrong way, and he just simply gets it all wrong. Still a 2-point ball game, Dave.
yeah, to add insult of injury, of course, this is a 7-tackle count from the 20-metre mark where it started. So there's only 2 plays gone so far. Wilson, Morgan, up there, skimming it back to Atkin. Morgan's back in position. Both sides desperate, absolutely desperate for the win tonight. Sneed back to Briley. Briley now goes hunting. Wood gets a hold.
Dan, don't spoil it. Wait.
This is the last. Sneed, this is a tester. High in the air, but that's really well dealt with again by Fletcher Rooney. Under all that pressure, and then it's been stolen.
I think the tackle's already completed.
Doing the tackle, he's saying.
They're going to go.
They are challenging.
Time off.
It's a captain's challenge.
That's fine. Right.
Salford incensed.
Yeah, that's fine.
Let's see what the referee has to
The
say.
video referee rule it. Right, Ben. We've got no tackle. Got a captain's challenge. Salford are challenging. Salford are challenging the decision of a ball steal.
Here we go.
Okay, so we've got a captain's challenge that we're going to check for prior breach on this because it's from a kick. So the players to the right who were chasing the ball were all onside. So that bit's fine.
You can't come off the time.
So I'm okay with this. That is just a That's not a tackle or anything like that in the air. So playing on from there, that is fine. Okay. That is always 13 might touch him, but that doesn't mean there's 2 men in tackle. He touches him. That does not constitute, though, 2 men in the tackle. So let's just go on and look at this a bit further on another angle if we can. So it's actually at that point where the second player comes in who steals the ball, he's fallen off the tackle. He's fallen off the tackle, and the Salford player has stolen the ball 1-on-1. Let's just go. Thank you, let's leave it there. The challenge is successful, and it will be tackle 1, Salford to play the ball.
Well, there you heard the explanation. So Salford will get it back. Captain's challenge is success.
Tackle 1, wait there, please. On the line, boys.
Referee judging that 2 men were in that tackle. And even though 1 fell off, that constituted 2 men in the tackle, but video referee overturns that, says 1 fell off. So Salford have it back again.
Oh dear. Oh, 6 again!
Another set of 6 as well. Here goes Salford. Another wave of red. Wilson dealt with.
Move! Line! Go on.
More out of dummy handballs. It's gone to ground and Castleford have it back. And they will sense that justice has been done there.
Yeah, I think it's Rimbu again.
And they get a penalty. Oh, we're going to see another captain's challenge. Let's hear again.
Time off. Right, just relax. Ben, we have another captain's challenge. Salford are ruling the decision of play on. They're claiming there was a knock-on on the ground by Castleford.
Well, let's hear from Ben Taylor again.
So captain's challenge, there's a knock-on on the ground by Castleford. Ball's played. Right, does that there. Does he take the hand or does he take the ball? Right, this is quite... We're just ruling on this bit now as to whether he touches the ball or he touches the hand. Right, we're playing on from there because that is not a knock-on. The Castleford player has touched the hand. So we're playing on from there. Is this bit a knock-on? Right, there. So up to this bit, we're playing on. It's there. Does the Castleford player lose the ball? This might show me something different. There. So ball carrying arm, right hand. It's away and ends up in the left hand on that one. This might show me well on this. So we know he picks that bit up clean there. He's got it in his right hand. That's fine. We're playing on from there. Right, you can clearly see on this angle how the ball there comes away from the hand and he then takes possession in his left hand. Thank you. Challenge is successful and it is a knock-on the floor by Castleford and is a scrum to Salford.
It's another successful captain's challenge and it's another one that goes Salford's way.
They're getting better at it, aren't they?
They are. The captains are working it out. And it's the Salford fans you can hear celebrating.
Salford knocked on first, didn't they?
Oh, hang on.
Yeah. So the challenge is successful, but it's going to be a scrum to Castleford. Yeah. Listen, I'll explain it, Callum. I'll explain it. All right. What your challenge was correct. However, there was a knock-on by Kai Morgan first. So the challenge is successful, but it's a scrum to Castleford.
They get tested now, the referees, don't they? There's that many people questioning the...
Can they challenge that now? Yeah. Can they challenge that decision?
Well, the knock-on from Kai Morgan is the reason that the scrum goes down. And Castleford Tigers have the ball.
I think if somebody had told them, by the way, it's pointless challenging because it's going against you anyway, they wouldn't have challenged. But anyway, they keep their challenge, but Castleford crucially keep the ball. And we've got a game breaking out again with 11 minutes of the game remaining. And it remains at Castleford 14, Salford 12. Not necessarily always for the right reasons. This game is going to be memorable tonight for so many different moments that have led us to this point. There's the knock-on. Oh, was it a knock-on? Well, I think it was a knock-on from Morgan that he was given.
Yeah.
Chris, you're off.
There's Hoy looking for a 40-20, but
Good positioning by Dion Cross.
safe hands. Oh, bounced into. Where's this going? 10 minutes to go. It has been a night. It's been like a night at the circus at times. Mistakes from both sides. Decisions going up to the video referee.
That's the knock
Some
on
brilliant tries.
The replay shows he quite rightly picked up by the referee, made the first mistake, but it's in the balance, isn't it?
Morgan searching right. Briley back on the inside. MacDonald keeps his feet but can't keep the ball alive. Morgan again. Steve racing into position and keeping that ball alive when they might have expected a kick, and Atkins almost through, and because it's the last and because they're desperate, he tries. Oh, it's a penalty for Salford though. Referee seen an earlier incident. Do they kick for goal here, Barry?
Off the ball.
Well,
Yeah, I know.
the kick for goal, what was it, 61 minutes? I think there's a late challenge, is there, on Mark Sneed as he takes the ball right to the line. That's where the penalty is. They look like they've got the kicking corn out, don't they? In between the replays and the captain's challenges,
It's the same. It's similar to Watkins.
There's plenty to watch, isn't there?
To ground, it's fine. You don't wrap and take to ground.
The referee's saying you don't wrap and take to ground, so you're just barging in. That's not allowed.
Yeah, too soon.
And Mark Sneed is kicking for goal.
maybe 5 or 6 metres further forward than his previous one. Does he get it? Are you going to get off the fence this one? Come on.
He's got a better chance of getting this than he had the last one, because we already know he missed that one. So Sneed settled this to take it level with under 8 minutes to go. Salford fans behind the sticks keeping still as Sneed aims the ball in their direction, and the arms go up. The arms go up to celebrate a successful kick. The flags go up to confirm it. 72 minutes gone. We're all square at 14 points apiece.
All locked up. Mark Sneed, with that unusual kicking style, makes no mistake after being taken out after he's passed the ball.
So Salford have it back. Castleford need it back. And somebody needs to find a point from somewhere, in any shape or size, to win this game before the hooter sounds. Otherwise, we're going to golden point. We have had a cluster of golden points, and we're only in round 4 of this 2025 season.
Dave, I'm going to spend the last part of this game watching Mark Sneed. He's dead certain to try and drop a goal, isn't it?
Well, they're just finding distance here.
They need to get centre field if it's a drop goal. He wants it. Is he going to go for it?
Back to Sneed now. Sneed.
Here it is.
Down. The race is on, but he's put it wide. Put it wide. He made a lot of time for himself there, didn't he?
He got into the right position, but it was the previous player the ball in the wrong part of the field, Dave.
Well, the problem here is now there's a couple of Castleford players injured, so they're going to have to slow down the tap restart. But the problem now is we are almost in golden point territory at this stage, as you quite rightly point out, is that Castleford get a bit of a leg up here because they start on the 20 with a 0 tackle. And they could find themselves in position at the other end at the end of this.
They haven't dropped a goal yet, Cas Tigers. There's nobody on the field that you'd bank on. You'd assume it's going to be one of the halves, Hoy or Arce. But Rimbu has done a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Castleford pushing forward again. Pretty sure the last time they had a golden point against Lee last year, Castleford, didn't they? And it finished all square at the end of it. Are we heading in that direction again? 5.5 minutes to go. Plus, whatever might be needed after that. Or is it going to be settled before that? Assi stepping back in again. A push and a squeeze once more. They're getting closer here. They're getting closer. Assi's in position. Back it comes. Out they rush. It's charged down. It's played up. It's another set of 6. It's another set of 6 for Castleford. They could win it from here. 8 away. 8 away. Tackles in the bag. Hall now gets that pass out. Salford's defence somehow recovers their poise and keeps them at bay. Here comes Judah Rimbo! He's been a glory seeker all night, and he's delivered the ultimate glorious moment right at the end. It could be Castleford's first win of the season, as Judah Rimbo is a new hero in town.
He's been all over this field. Well, Salford Red Devils did their best to charge down the drop goal attempt. Callum Watkins, who else, sprints out the line, but it's Cas Tigers first to pick up the ball, and Judah Rimbu fakes to go to the left. All his body is motioning towards the left, and all the time he's thinking in the back of his mind, I'm going right, I'm going right. He has a little glance there, doesn't he? Ormonroyd at first marker. Chris Hill, the experienced front row forward, doesn't make that adjustment. He's the wrong side of the post pads. Wow.
Well, his first Castleford try. One of their new signings in the off-season. And what a moment to choose to deliver that first score.
So impressed by his involvement. Everything he's done has been quality.
Well, Sexoy looks a fairly simple kick this, and should be certainly important he gets this. He put plenty on him to do that, and up he steps, and he does deliver. The ball disappears over the top of the stand, and has Salford hopes disappeared over the top of that same stand as a result of that wonderful Judah Rimbu try.
It's a great try, Dave, and just at the right time of this match. But there's a system breakdown. Ormonroyd thinks he's the first defender at the side of the play the ball. He ends up facing the play the ball. The space isn't filled in. Chris Hill doesn't make the adjustment, and the influential substitute strolls in, dives in without a glove laid on him.
Oh, it's a penalty for Castleford because Salford was so eager to get up there and chase that ball down. They were in front of the kicker, and that is a straightforward penalty. And Castleford, no, oh, there's a word out of place as well. Word out of place, and that now takes it in goal-kicking range.
Well, that is a punch in the guts, isn't it, for these fans who travelled to support the players who've given absolutely everything, lost their composure right at the end of the game. They're going to take 2 points here. Will make it 8 points in front. So 2 scores technically.
We ask in every game, who'd be a coach? Who would be a coach? All that he's had to put up with off the field in the last few weeks, last few months, and then when you can finally concentrate on the rugby again, the way this game looks like it's finishing.
And I don't think we could have asked any more of his players. You can see they're desperate to get the ball back. They know they need to get possession. just that extra half a metre, gives the ball back to Cass, and then somebody said something they shouldn't. Ill discipline. Tex Hoy. Not just have a look at the points, he's letting the clock tick.
This, indisputably, is a match winner if he puts it over. Hoy settles. 90 seconds and counting remaining in the game. Hoy picks this one over, and it is mission impossible for Salford. Oh, he's put it wide. He's put it wide. There's still chance for a miracle finish from the Red Devils. The best they can hope for is golden point extra time at this stage.
Oh, they're going to go short here, Salford. Aren't they just?
Sneed scoops it up there. Oh, they've let it bounce. No, it's not gone 10, that's right. It's not gone 10. And the referee will therefore give the penalty to Castleford. Another captain's challenge. Another captain's challenge. Enjoy this one, folks. It's all part of the fun of the party.
Salford are challenging the decision that the ball has not gone 10.
Here for the video referee.
It's not gone 10. I've ruled that Lennon McDonald takes possession before it goes 10.
It's a close call, this.
The challenge is to see, he's taken the ball before it's gone 10 metres, which is the ruling. So the referee has ruled that it has been taken prior to the hitting the line. Well, you can clearly see there, if you draw a line across, that the player is behind that line. And this is probably the only angle I'm going to get that's any good on this. So you can clearly see the ball, where the ball has not gone 10 metres. And the referee is therefore correct in penalising it. Challenge is unsuccessful. Chris, stay with your on-field decision.
And with that judgment goes Salford's last hope. And Castleford are going to get their first win of the season. Cass fans cheering down as it appears on the big screen. 1 minute left, and Hoy with a kick. He'll take the full minute with this. It almost doesn't matter whether it goes over or not. But he should win it from here.
Yeah, there was a good shot of Alex Mellor just in front of the referee, clenching his fist and giving a big yes.
What do you mean, sir?
Mightily relieved Cass Tigers, who were under pressure. Everybody expected them to turn up tonight and take the 2 competition points because of what's been going on in the camp at Salford Red Devils, but they'll get on that bus. Probably disappointed they didn't get the 2 competition points, but they'll be immensely proud of the resilience they've shown, and I'm sure Paul Rowley will reflect how they could have got the win here.
So Hoy, no real pressure, and he's put it over. The flags are up, the hooter will sound, and Castleford and Danny Maguire have their first win of the Betfred 2025 Super League season. They're off and running, but my goodness, what a game! What a way to get that first win. Salford will be so frustrated and so disappointed. We had to find a winner from that one tonight. So many talking points through the full 80 minutes, but it's Castleford who win.
A little bit of everything there, Dave. The good, the bad, the ugly at times. But it was a grinding, gritty type of game. It was never going to be a classic with everything that's going on. These 2 teams, 11 and 12 in the table, but it took a spark from the bench. It took a little bit of magic from one of the PNG internationals to secure the win. And for me, the most impressive player on the field, and that's why he's the Betfred player of the match. Judah Rimbu had the ultimate influence on this match.
Well, I think any coach watching that match tonight on their tip sheet will say, watch out for Rimbu. He runs from dummy half, because he did it so much tonight, didn't he? We're going to catch up with him and the two coaches as well, hopefully, before we go off there. But he's a proud man, is Judah Rimbu. He's down on the field and he's showing off his medal before he walks towards our interview position.
But you look at Lee and you look at the impact that Edwin Apape has made on that team. He's the first player on the team sheet, whether he's placed on the bench or he starts the game, because of the quality of involvements and the danger and the